All right, so more factoring. All right, we have lots of factoring. So this is another version of factoring. And then we're going to do probability, another probability. All right, so we'll start with what's called difference of squares. Don't write this part down, okay? I just want you to watch. All right, just watch these. So multiply x plus 6 times x minus 6, okay? If I asked you to multiply this, you would be like, all right, that's x squared. This is negative 6x. This is positive 6x. And then the last two are negative 36. Those cancel, schmancel. And we get this, okay? This is a difference of squares. What makes them a difference of squares? There's a minus sign. And they're both perfect squares. Okay, let's try 2x minus 7, 2x plus 7. When I multiply this times this, I get 4x squared. Just watch. Don't write this down. Just watch. All right. And then I multiply 2x times 7. That's plus 14x. And negative 7 times 2x is negative 14x. And negative 7 times 7 is negative 49. And the middle terms cancel, schmancel. All right. What I have left is a difference of squares. How do I know? There's a minus sign. Is 4 a perfect square? Yes. Is 49 a perfect square? Yes. Is x squared a perfect square? Yes. How many terms are there? 2 terms. Okay. So we're going to work our way backwards. I'm not going to do that one. All right. So it says factor the difference of squares. Okay. So how do I know to look for difference of squares? 2 terms, a negative sign, and they're both perfect squares. How do I factor tractor? X squared minus 36. Well, I need 2 things that multiply to be x squared. That's x and x. And I need 2 things that multiply to be negative 36 and add to be 0 because there's no middle term, right? So what would this one be? Plus 6 and minus 6. They have to be opposite signs. That way they multiply to negative 36 and add to 0 because there's no middle term, right? All right, now I've got 64x squared minus 81y squared. So if there's 2 terms, you always look for this special case of factoring. 2 terms, okay? Are they both perfect squares? Is there a minus sign in the middle? Then it factor tractors. So we do our 2 sets of parentheses. All right, these first 2 things have to multiply to be 64x squared. 8x and 8x, and they have to be samesies. All right, and then the next 2 things have to multiply, these last 2 terms, they have to multiply to be negative 81y squared. What would that be? Okay, plus 9y and minus 9y. In either order, you can have the minus first and the plus second. It doesn't matter. So if I refoiled this out, right, this times this is 64x squared. This times this is negative 72xy. This times this is positive 72xy. Those cancel. And then this times this is negative 81y squared. It's the opposite of multiplying. Okay, let's try another one. All right, this one's in the wrong order. All right, are they both perfect squares? Yes, so this is easier if you rewrite it as 100m squared minus 25. Okay, so put the positive one first, the negative one second, and then we just factor tractor. What would multiply to be 100m squared? 10m times 10m. What would multiply to be negative 25? Yep, negative 5 and positive 5, or positive 5 and negative 5. Oh, I could have factored out a GCF. Shoot. All right, so I should have factored out GCF. You know how I know I can do that? Because I can see there's a common 5 here, but I should have done it here. What comes out of 125? Okay. If I take out 25 from 100, I'm dividing by 25. That would leave me with 4m squared minus 1. Okay, 25 out of 25. Now I have to factor it again because 4m squared minus 1 is a difference of squares. Sorry, I'm squishing it in. It's really small. What multiplies to be 4m squared? 2m times 2m. What multiplies to be 1? Positive 1 and negative 1 because I got to multiply to a negative. This is actually a much better answer. What I could have done now is taken a 5 out of this and a 5 out of this, and that would give me the 25. but it's easier to do GCF first. Sorry. I didn't see it till after. All right, there's no GCF on this one. I don't see any GCF, okay? So then you have to be like, self, is this a difference of squares? Because there's only two terms, all right? Is everything a perfect square? 169 is actually 13 times 13, all right? And as long as these are all even, it actually works, all right? So what would multiply to give me y to the fourth x squared? Very good. Y squared x and y squared x. Okay, that would multiply to give you y to the fourth x squared. All right, and what would multiply to be 169z to the 10th? Yep, negative 13z to the 5th and positive 13z to the 5th. Okay, because z to the 5th times z to the 5th is z to the 10th. All right, be sure you do plus minus. Okay, let's do probability without replacement. A bag contains 4 purple marbles and 3 pink marbles. 2 marbles are drawn at random. What's probably both marbles are purple if the marbles are drawn with replacement. All right, so we get a purple and a purple. So you do probability of purple, comma, purple. Now, the first one is what we've been doing because we're replacing it in between. We've already done a bunch of these, all right? How many purple marbles are there? 4 out of how many total? All right, and if I put it back in after I draw, then I still have 4 out of 7. Well, so I replaced it with replacement. So I drew out the purple, and then I put it back in the bag. So there's still 4 out of 7. So I have 16 out of 49. Okay, multiply top to top, bottom to bottom. Okay, now they're going to add this new part in without replacement. All right, so I'm still going to write purple, comma, purple, but you're going to have to think a little bit, okay? So on the first draw, there are still 4 out of 7 because we're starting at the beginning, okay? 4 of 7 are purple, but you just took a purple out and you didn't put it back in. How many purples are left? 3, and it's now out of how many? Yes, it's out of 6, okay? Because that one came out. You only have 3 left. You have 3 purples and 3 pinks, so 3 out of 6. All right, now multiply top to top, bottom to bottom, or actually let's cross cancel here. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice, and also we could cross cancel here. 2 goes into 4 twice, so then I have 2 times 1 is 2, and 7 times 1 is 7, and we get 2 7s, okay? All right, a bag contains 5 orange marbles and 6 blue marbles. 2 marbles are drawn at random. What's the probability the first marble is orange and the second marble is blue if the marbles are drawn first with replacement? So probability of getting an orange, comma, a blue. And you can put O, comma, B if you want. All right. So how many orange are there? 5 out of how many total? 11. All right. If I'm sampling with replacement, now the second draw, I want to get a blue. What's probability of getting a blue? 6 out of 11. All right, so that would be 30 over 121. All right, so that's with replacement. We don't have to worry about, okay, how about without replacement? All right, I'm going to do this one right here. Sorry, without replacement. So same thing, orange, comma, blue. You're going to have to think a little bit on this one, okay? Now, the first draw stays the same because we're drawing out of the whole bag, right? So the probability of getting orange is what? 5 out of 11. Now we assume that we drew the orange, okay? We assume we drew the orange. How many blues are still in the bag? Yeah, there's still 6, okay? Because you got an orange, right, on the first draw. So there's still 6, but how many total are there? 10. Okay, it is out of 10, not 11, because you took an orange out, right? So you have 1 less overall. All right, so 5 goes into 10 here twice. 2 goes into 6 here 3 times. That'd be 3 11s. All right. All right, let's try some whiteboards.